Hi, it's Navalny. I came up with the idea for this investigation back when I was in intensive care. But we decided immediately that we will release it only when I return home to Russia, to Moscow. Because we do not want the main character of this film to think that we are afraid of him, and that we would tell all his worst secrets while I am abroad. I very much want to understand how an ordinary Soviet officer turned into this madman, obsessed with money and luxury. Today we will see something which was considered impossible, to look up close. We will go where no one is allowed, we will go to visit Putin. See with our own eyes that this person, with his craving for luxury, for wealth, is completely insane. We will find out how and with whose money this opulence is funded, and how over the last 15 years, the biggest bribe in history is being given and the most expensive palace in the world is being built. It was here in Dresden where Putin defined his main principles of life, and which would later become the basis of the Russian state. First, you always say one thing and do another. Lying and hypocrisy is the best practice. Second, corruption is the foundation of trust with your main accomplices, those who have been stealing and cheating together with you for many years. And the most important, third, there is no such thing as too much money. Putin consolidated his power. He controlled television, the courts, and established an election rigging system. He began, and continues to this day, the largest operation to seize and extort from the Russian state. Each of Putin's friends gets a piece. One sits on the assets of Gazprom, a second begins milking Rosneft, a third grabs the largest construction projects. A gang of bribe takers and crooks from the St. Petersburg mayor's office seized all key posts and declared themselves brilliant managers and saviors of Russia. But despite the fact that our heroes dressed up and surrounded themselves with hundreds of guards, their founding principle remained, on which all is based since the dashing 90s in St. Petersburg. If you want to steal from the budget and siphon off state funds, you have to share with Putin. Whereas before, Putin wrote relatively small amounts on a piece of paper and Lyosha Miller collected them for him. Now he wrote a single word on a piece of paper, and that word was palace. It's the largest construction project in the world. It is the most secret and guarded location in Russia, without exaggeration. This is not a country house, not a dacha, not a residence, it's a whole city. It is a kingdom. It has impregnable fences, its own harbor, its own guards, a church, security controls, a no-fly zone, and even its own border checkpoint. It is a state within a state, the Russian state. And in this state there is only a single and irreplaceable Tsar, Putin. Hello everyone. This is Georgi Alvarov. We are in a slightly unusual situation for us. In fact, we are in the Krasnodar region on the Black Sea coast, literally 3 kilometers from the famous Putin's Palace. We arrived here in a very strange way. We swapped tickets, we didn't get off at our stops, we changed SIM cards and phones. We carried out a whole special operation to get here so that the police don't follow us, or the FSB or the employees of the surveillance centers who always try when we come to the Krasnodar region. And we succeeded. Right now we are a few hundred meters from the coast, and for tens of kilometers around, not a single policeman knows what we are doing here. It's great, because right now we will launch the drone, and make a legendary video for you of the Palace of Putin, which has never been filmed before by a drone. It is so secret that it is guarded by the Federal Security Service. Everyone said that it was impossible to film it, we thought so ourselves, and then we went ahead and tried it. It did not work, so we made 4 more attempts, and eventually, one succeeded. We present you with the most secret palace in Russia, Putin's Palace near Jelenchik. Here it is right in front of you. This is the largest private residential building in Russia. Its area, officially confirmed according to documents, is 190,424 square feet. There isn't even anything to compare it to. The most luxurious houses in Rublyovka are several times smaller than this new Versailles or the new Winter Palace. Truly a place fit for a Tsar. For now we will only admire the outside. Let's fly over it, close enough to see everything in detail. Oh, what is happening here? Some kind of blew up. Windows boarded up. The pool is closed. Building materials on the ground, workers scurrying around, barely noticeable against the backdrop of the palace. What is happening? Why is the construction here, if 6-year-old satellite images show that the palace was finished back then? The builders explained it to us. Everything really was ready before. Yes, but then a disaster struck. Her name was mold. Carelessness. The palace was designed with mistakes. The ventilation didn't work, the roof leaked and it had high humidity. After reflecting on it, they decided to redo everything. Absolutely everything. They stripped the walls and removed the marble. Took out everything of value. Literally threw millions into the trash and began again. But what turned out to be an extravagance and a headache for Putin gave us the chance to learn more about the palace. A lot of people were involved, and they gladly told us about literally every square meter of this grandiose possession. Here, for example, is an arboretum, where rare and unique trees are collected. And for those plants that are not comfortable in such a climate outdoors, they built a greenhouse covering an area of 2,500 square meters. The plants and trees on the property are constantly monitored by about 40 gardeners. Further on is another very important feature, a church. Not a temple to the Ministry of Defense, of course. It doesn't look very orthodox. This looks like a bunch of construction trailers, apparently workers live there. Here we see a giant 80-meter bridge. In any Russian region, this would be a big deal, but here it is just needed for access to the China House. On the right we see two helipads. Odd, before there were three of them. One has been removed and replaced with a strange mound. It has several entrances. We tried for a long time to understand what was inside. But at some stage, there on satellite images, we saw the insides of this mountain. On the second floor, rounded rectangles, 56 meters by 26. It's a hockey rink. Really? Why would anybody have a palace if you can't play hockey there? Interestingly, we are seeing in this underground complex, the owner's bunker mentality for the first time. He clearly likes to sit underground. Probably imagines himself as a hobbit guarding his gold like a character in the Lord of the Rings movie. The contractors confirmed to us, there is a nice palace buried underground, which is actually as tall as a 5-story building. A little shocked, we fly further. Let's pan around a bit and just admire the view of which opens up from here. Very beautiful. Up until now this could only be appreciated from Putin's helicopter. Now we can all see it too, and why not? We paid for it. Let's fly back and look at a couple more objects. Here is a massive fence, to stop any thieves escaping. On the right, the very building for which the 80-meter bridge was built. It's a guest house in the Chinese style with an area of 27,000 square feet. How do you access the beach? Put on your swimming trunks and flippers. But how to get down the cliff? And here there is a special entrance to a tunnel which was built by the people who built the metro. This is a unique design that allows you not only to conveniently get to the sea, but also to hide in case of war, or from an attack by the strange inhabitants of Jelenshik. And this tunnel contains a small secret which was revealed to us by one of the builders of the palace. Do you see some sort of door? Look at this photo. You can see a little better here. This is a plan of the tunnels. This, my friends, is a specially disguised section. In fact, this is a huge window from which you can have the best possible views of the sea. You can enjoy a glass of wine here, and most importantly, for our nation's leader, it's not some kind of balcony where you are constantly in danger. It's a safe underground place where nothing threatens you. I promised you that we will visit Vladimir Putin, and we will go there now, despite the fact that no one invited us. We will be helped by one of the important contractors, who worked on the palace design. He himself was so stunned, and enraged by the luxury interior decor and crazy prices for furniture, that he sent us a detailed architectural plan for this project. Everything is detailed here in the drawing, from the actual floor plan, to individual items of furniture, and even the location of electrical sockets. We will literally be able to visualize on video what specific sofas Vladimir Putin is sitting on, what his bed is like, what the table he eats at looks like. Look here at the basement floor plan. Here is a huge pool, spa area, massage room, for a beautician. Some kind of jacuzzi, Turkish bath, saunas, water fountains and bathing pools. From the pool you can get to the exterior, to a place marked on the plan as an aqua disco. I honestly did not know such a thing exists. Here is this place on the plan and here is this photo of some type of fountain where you can sit and order drinks. And believe me, this is not the biggest surprise that is in store for us at Putin's dacha. Trusting that our architectural plans are absolutely accurate, we ordered a CGI rendering and recreated the entire interior. Where there is a photo, the reconstruction is 100% true to the original. But where there is no photo, there may be slight differences in details such as colors or wallpaper patterns. We enter the palace by the main entrance. Vladimir Putin imagines himself to be the Russian emperor, and behaves accordingly. The architect designed an Italian-style palace especially for him. An Italian-style classic courtyard with a fountain in the center, surrounded by galleries. As if we were not in Jelenchik but in Bologna or Florence. From the courtyard we go to this room, called the Athenaeum, that's its name. Here we will see how similar our reconstruction is to the original photo on the internet. We can check here, see the columns, the stucco, chandeliers, murals. They are 100% the same. Here are the golden eagles. Never too many of them. Vladimir Putin, relaxing in this room reading Pravda, must be remembered as the master of Russia. We leave the Athenaeum, as we need to visit many other places. The doors on the right swing open and we find ourselves in a marble foyer with a bar. This is like what usually happens before entering a theater or a concert hall, and we guessed correctly. Rich people love home movie theaters. But the president of Russia built this house with a real theater, complete with a huge stage, backstage area, makeup rooms, and luxury imperial boxes. I'm not kidding, inside Putin's palace is a full 2-story theater auditorium. The 3 audience boxes below can be shielded with velvet curtains, in case the owner wants to get more intimate. On the 2nd floor are balconies with sofas, displaying Vladimir Putin's loyalty to traditions. In Tsarist Russia, landowners built theaters and so our president has copied them too. While ordinary Russians make themselves comfortable to enjoy the game show Field of Miracles, at the Palace Theatre on the Black Sea, the lights go down, the curtain rises. And our national leader indulges in more refined pleasures. On the subject of exquisite pleasures, do you know what the president is fond of? You will never believe it. He loves a hookah. He loves smoking a water pipe. We will go to the room on the floor plan marked hookah bar. It really looks like the best, most expensive hookah bar in Makhachkala. Sofas, tables, dim lights, an ideal ambience to discuss budget issues. Lying among the soft pillows, the president and his guests can enjoy the show. This hall is also equipped with a small stage and an amazing thing. There is a special, smaller elevating stage with a pole. What can it be for? A Christmas tree? Maybe for a gigantic kebab? Or maybe a show in support of the Constitution? If the hookah bar came as a surprise, you will like this even more. In Sergei Kolesnikov's letter to Medvedev, he stated that there is a casino inside the palace. But then no one took these words seriously at the time, because it was impossible to imagine that the president of Russia would build a casino in his own private house. He is probably exaggerating or embellishing. But no, this huge private casino exists. There is indeed a casino project. But this casino is not for ordinary people from the street. It was just for a private pastime. Well, just to spend some time, let's go into the private casino of Vladimir Putin. They are illegal in the rest of the country, but not here. You can play pontoon, and of course, roulette. I'm curious what stakes they play for. For sure, betting money does not interest them. Most likely play for state-owned companies. So don't be surprised that all the national wealth of the country belongs to Putin's friends. He probably just lost it all to them in the casino. From the casino, we make our way through to the games room. The first thing we notice is, in the games room, our president likes the simple entertainment. He likes to dance. A dance machine with a huge screen is installed there. The rest of the room is filled with slot machines. His own Black Sea Las Vegas, for a true patriot. And here is probably the president of Russia's favorite room, the place where Putin outplays everyone. There are no globes, no maps of military action, but there are toy racing cars. For his little electric friends, there is a special room the size of a one-bedroom apartment. Here on special tracks, the chief geopolitical strategist of our time performs amazing stunts, overtakes his rivals and invariably wins the big race. A little embarrassed, we go to the second floor, to the Holy of Holies, the bedroom of our Commander-in-Chief and President of Russia, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. However, the word suite would be more appropriate. Here everything follows the best aristocratic traditions. You don't just open the door and see the bed. First comes a living room with sofa and armchair, apparently to rest here before retiring. Only from here you can get to the boudoir. So we tiptoe inside.
Boudoir императрицы повидал немало на своем веку.
Mad Emperor are the words that spring to mind when you see all this gold, velvet canopies, as well as the ubiquitous flat-screen TV opposite the bed. So he won't miss the important news on Channel 1. It was here, near this chest of drawers, that this photo was taken. So we are not the only ones to intrude. From the royal bedchamber you access another, extremely private living room. Probably even Sechin hasn't been here. One more door and behind it is a wardrobe. And through it you can get into the bathroom. A bathroom where there are marble columns around the jacuzzi. I don't know how many square meters you need for a good night's sleep, but in the Jelenchik Palace, 2,800 square feet is the area covered by the master bedroom. If you ask how much the total cost is of Putin's palace near Jelenchik, in the end the answer to this question is hard to know. Because such projects with tunnels carved into the rock, and underground hockey rinks, don't just come up for sale. But we can estimate the minimum cost. The amount of money which was spent on it in total is at a minimum $1.5 billion. That's why we call it the world's biggest bribe. We will only live normally when we stop tolerating officials who steal and then we re-elect them. And, if they refuse to hold free and fair elections, then we'll take to the streets and remove them from power. This is what differentiates poor countries from rich ones. In rich countries, at the slightest indignation, people take to the streets. Officials fear this. In poor countries, people tolerate this and officials hold referenda to renew their powers. They say, well, wait a little more, we've only held power for 20 years. And you see what they do every day. New laws prohibiting criticism of the authorities. All branded dissatisfied foreign agents. People are prohibited already to even campaign for their chosen candidates in the elections and for criticizing United Russia. Putin and his gang of thieves want lifelong unfettered power. We have reached the point where this is no longer a group of people who rob the state, but the state itself has turned into an instrument of theft. The FSO and National Guard protects the palaces. Judges jail protesters. A group of murderers has been created within the FSB, whose task is just to kill those who refuse to be silent. But the good news is that there are still many more of us. Putin and everyone who guards him, steals for him, who fake elections for him, are several 100,000 people maximum. But there are dozens of millions of us. We do not yet believe in our strength. If everyone who watches this video shares it, we will rip censorship to shreds. If 10% of those who are dissatisfied protest, they will not dare to falsify elections. If each of us registers and participates in smart voting, then Putin's party of theft and degradation, United Russia, will lose the elections. Political competition will begin and the quality of politics and officials will gradually improve. Fair courts and honest prosecutors will come. Stealing on such a scale as we have now will become impossible. And step by step we will begin to live better and richer lives. All we have to do is stop accepting this. Stop waiting. Stop wasting your life and your taxes on enriching these people. Our future is in our hands. Do not be silent. Do not agree to obey these feasting villains. Subscribe to our channel, we tell the truth here.